Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Everyone, this is Genevieve from the co-owner of the Parlour Keyport in Keyport, a very, very cool oddities and witchy shop.
Yes, it's definitely odd. You can kind of see behind me. I'm in our reading space right now, so you can kind of see behind me, and our very large scrying mirror.
I love that reading space, just to tell you.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, definitely a favorite. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I think you should do like maybe a store tour. I think we should maybe talk about maybe some of your little witchy invention.
I have lots of things. We can start. I mean, let's see. We have the store itself. We've got sigil maker. We've got ghost tours. We've got pyromancy. We've got lots of things we can talk about. So I have no doubt that we can talk for a while.
And then you'll probably be back because we won't finish. But let's start with the store because that's like the biggest thing.
All right. Let me see if I can switch this around.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's the inside of the reading room. With our scrying mirror there. And our beautiful tarot table that was owned by a fortune teller in the 1900s, and a nice little orb that just flew by. The space itself is haunted, so we've got a lot of cool stuff. That mirror is haunted. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
This is one of the coolest things that we have. It's all cool, right?
It is.
It's one of the coolest, like I think one of the more fun things that we have. It's a giant cauldron. It is actually foam. It looks metal, but it's foam. We have this apothecary cabinet. I'm trying to go through a little bit slow. Some stuff up here. This is something new. I don't think you've seen this yet.
No, I think I was there. It's like the card catalog, but I forget what you had some intention of. You just gotten it when I was there last.
Yeah. So it's filled. Each drawer is filled with herbs, and it's labeled. They're color coded. So if you've got, let's say you want to do something that you want to, maybe like a love spell or a simmer or something like that, it's kind of self-service. So you can look for the color that lines up with love, which obviously is red. And then you pick the herbs from the drawers and you can make your own little pack.
Very cool.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, I like that.
We got all sorts of witchy stuff here. Look at these. These are I love these so much.
Are those like little like witchy like areas for like a dollhouse?
Yeah, the little miniatures.
I love it.
But here's the best. Like each one has something specific and each of the drawers.
Oh, that's awesome.
All the drawers have little secrets. This one's got a cat. This one's got a mushroom. This one has a little ghost.
That is so cool.
A little cat. Yeah. So we've got that. Then we have some sprays. We've got candles. Obviously, everybody's got candles. But we've got some really cool sprays that are magically charged. And one of the most popular ones, I will show it off because, it's a little hard to read that on the camera, but it's a money spray. And I'm on my 3rd or 4th batch of this stuff right now because it's really amazing.
Wow.
Everybody that's using it is having really good feedback on it. So we like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We like when the magic works, right?
Right.
I'm going to grab this off the wall while we're here. That's my sigil wheel that I created. We'll get into that momentarily. Some taxidermy because all oddity shops need taxidermy. This dollhouse is another one of my favorite pieces. My partners got that from Marketplace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do a little quick pan around view of that room. We have kind of 3 rooms, four if you count the tarot area.
Mm-hmm.
This, I don't think you've seen this yet.
Which, well, I know the coffin was always there.
Yeah, but we did this. So now when you come in, we actually walk into the space. So when you come in, it's elevated.
Oh, very cool.
And it's got this beautiful vintage stand.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny because we did all this rearranging and people are like, oh, you have new stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not new. It was always here. You just couldn't see it.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's much more like you could see everything much better now.
Yeah, we got some dried herbs and stuff up there, all the witch balls and things like that. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll hit the front room real quick and then we'll talk about some other stuff.
And if you want, like in the middle, we'll do it again at the end, but let us know where you are. What's your address?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then these. Yep, and this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have someone in the store, so
that's okay. So yeah, you're on Main Street in Keyport, yes. New Jersey, right? Yeah.
Yep. We are 8 Main Street in Keyport. We are very close to we are in the downtown area. We're across the street from 3BR Distillery, which is another cool place to check out. Yeah, and let's see. Switch it back.
Okay.
There we go.
Here you are.
Sit back in my spot. Okay. Yeah, so that's the partial tour.
Yeah, everybody's just got to come in now and check it out for themselves because it's really cool.
It's definitely an experience too. You know, it's one thing to see things on video and see them online. It's a totally different experience when you're face to face and you experience the energy of the space.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually feeling some of it now. Like I'm feeling some of it now through the but it's because I'm familiar with it. So
you are, yeah.
Like yeah. But what was I gonna say? Do you still have the jewelry, the crystal jewelry designer there?
We do, yeah. Mallory, Dark Amethyst Moon, she designs some absolutely unbelievable pieces. I was gonna wear one today and I came right from work, so I didn't have it on. But she does some just stunning, very big crystal pieces. So I might tag John in real quick to ask him to show a piece of Mallory's jewelry.
Yeah, I'd love to have her on here because
yeah.
her work it's stunning.
Do you have a piece of Mallory's jewelry around, John?
I can get
one. Okay.
Yeah, and each one is like very unique. Like she doesn't replicate anything.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing.
And they're high quality stones. They're not, she's using really good materials and stones, and she's actually teaching a crystal class here in a week and a half.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So she'll be here on the 16th from 10 to 12 doing the crystals, and then a pop-up after that.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Like exciting. So so tell us kind of what prompted you to start the store or, create the store.
So this was sort of a dream of both mine and my husband's for a while. And it was kind of like one of those things that we would always think like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this? And every time there was a shop open downtown in Keyport, I was always like, oh man, I want that space. And then I was, if the space would get rented and I'd be all dejected and sad. And I had bought the ghost tour company, Jersey Shore Ghost Tours, from a friend of mine. And then it really kind of heightened my interest in wanting to do this. My husband's an artist. He does a lot of really spooky, creepy art. And I wanted a space for the ghost tours to live. So it just kind of stayed on the back burner. One fateful day, in February of 2022. I go into a store in New Hope and I meet John. Did you want to say hi, John? Yeah. Okay. So I meet John and we're talking a bit outside of the store where he was a co-owner. And I said, you know, I would love to have something like this in Keyport. And he said, I live in Hazlitt. So I said, let's talk. And he gave me his number. And I was honestly kind of expecting like this would just be like, there he is. There's my sunshine.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. But
Yes.
we're not that far, so come visit us.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice seeing
Yes.
you, Nicole.
It's good seeing you too.
So we exchanged phone numbers and I'm thinking this is a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. Right. John, did you call me like the next day or like 2 days? I think 2 days later, he gave me a call and he's like,
an Aries, of course he would.
I
He
know,
totally
I know.
follows through.
And the best part is I think I knew him for like 10 minutes before he told me he was an Aries. He's like, I'm an Aries. And I was like, okay. So I said to him, you know, why don't you and your husband come on a ghost tour and see, you know, so you can see what I do. And then we can go from there and see if we want to be in business together. So they came on a ghost tour. He and Rick came on a ghost tour and had a good time, thankfully. And we started looking for spaces right after that. The weirdest part, well, there's a lot of like interesting synchronicities that happened. One of them being that my husband, Danny, and I had the name, The Parlour, for the space. And I specifically wanted it to be Parlour because it's fancier.
Right.
And
it's more like the French version.
yes. Yeah. So I wanted it like that was the name I had. I even had a podcast like 3 years ago called The Creepy Parlour, which was like kind of like my setting the stage for this. So I tell John that that's my idea for the name. Rick had the same idea, same name. So
wow.
it's like we both had the same name for the child.
Well, and you know, I mean, and that's what happens, that, you know, the universe drops the idea into the ether and, you know, it's up to whomever it is to reach up and grab it.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic.
And I very much needed, I think we each of the four of us each bring something very different to the table, and we all it works very nicely together. You know, I've got the metaphysical aspect. I do classes here. I teach a lot of stuff that has like all of the metaphysical, supernatural kind of witchcraft type of things. We're building a nice community of people that come. That's fantastic. So that's kind of that, and the ghost stuff is kind of mine. Then, you know, Danny's got all of his art. John has all of his drive and all of his passion for all of this and his incredible salesmanship.
All of his Aries.
Yes. And he's got such an amazing eye. Like, he's always like, I'm not an artist, but he has such an amazing eye. And then Rick is just pure brilliance. You've seen the stuff that Rick creates.
Yeah. So Rick is actually a deck creator, and he's created several decks. I want to have him on as well. So we've got to figure all that out. Yes, I have a copy. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, he's actually Madame Clara.
Yes.
But yeah, it has been. We just celebrated our 2nd anniversary, which I am. It's on the one hand, I feel like, wow, it's already been 2 years, and then on the other hand, I'm like, it's only been 2 years, because it feels like this is just part of our existence now.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very similar to my own story, that I'm like, I just feel like I've been doing this forever, and it's really not that long. Yeah. So I'm in that same boat. I totally get that. So how did you come about, like you just said that, like, what was your interest in the ghost tour type of aspect of it, and where do you bring everybody on the ghost tour? What is it about?
Yeah. So I've always been interested in ghosts, and especially ghost stories ever since I was a little kid. That's one of my favorite types of stories, that good classic creepy ghost story. Not the jump scare, but the one that kind of like sits in your brain and it kind of simmers in there and kind of makes you doubt, did I really see that? Did I not really see? I love that. Like, I love that like shift between the worlds. And I really get that from being a kid. I had uncles that would tell ghost stories, and I give them a lot of credit for that. My mom was super into Halloween, so that's kind of like my background with the ghost stories. But I also was an anthropology student in college, and I have a strong interest in history, and telling ghost stories really does nicely meld the history component with the supernatural. And I always say that I believe that ghost stories kind of help keep history alive, because I can tell you a whole story about, the history of what happened in this space. You might remember it. If there's a ghost involved, you're going to remember it.
And it's not even that. It's also like it's an entity / person that it's attached to.
Yeah.
So it makes it more relatable.
It does. Does. So I got involved with doing the ghost tour, helping out a friend of mine who started the company. My friend Tabitha started the company in Keyport and in Red Bank, New Jersey. And so started doing the tours with her. And then in 2017, she moved out of state and she sold me the company. So I became the full owner in 2017. And that has been just my favorite.
So now where do you take them around Keyport? Do you have like a specific area that you go to, or okay?
Yeah, so we used to start off like by the waterfront area. Now we start actually at the shop, because that would be silly to have the brick and mortar space and not utilize this space. So we start off in front of the Parlour. We walk down along the Keyport waterfront, which is incredibly active paranormally. We walk up through the residential area. So the Keyport tour is a really nice mix of history, a lot of personal experience. And the thing I love about the Keyport tour is that we have a lot of independent verification of our stories. So a lot of random people tell us the same stories about the same places. And that to me is validation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So now, is it mostly because of the shipwrecks, or is there something else that's underlying? Is the town kind of like a portal? Like what?
I have many thoughts on that. I felt very compelled to move here, and I didn't quite understand why until I went on my first ghost tour. But I think some of it is the fact that it's right on the water. So it's salt water. Salt water conducts electricity and energy. Also, there's been a lot of tragedy in this area. There's been a lot of conflict. There's been a lot of friction. There's been a lot of strange things that have happened here. And I think that contributes to the amount of energy that still remains in the area.
Yeah, and the buildings throughout the town are still very historic, and they've kind of worked to keep them that way. And even the houses, like that, that's something that it's literally like stepping back in time when you go to Keyport, which is nice.
It is. That's comforting. And the one street that we go down, Main Street, is the street that the shop is located on. That street was developed by a lot of the very wealthy people who moved here. So you can see examples of all sorts of different eras of Victorian architecture, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I've had a paranormal experience there. I discussed that with you. That was really, really wow. And it was right across from, and it didn't hit me. I mean, there was a tie there, the building itself related to the incident. But the fact that it was actually the former electric company. It was JCP&L.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, hello, leftover electricity, leftover energy, So I was like,
building
no wonder.
Gorgeous. That building.
Yeah, that building
is stunning.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. So the Keyport tour is waterfront and residential area. The Red Bank tour pretty much is isolated in the business district. So the Red Bank tour, I start off at the Dublin House, which has a whole lot of history, a lot of strange stuff there. Like even just the fact that the Dublin House wasn't built where it currently stands.
Oh.
Yeah, it was moved from across the Navesink over by Navesink River Road, I think. It was moved to Broad Street in Red Bank.
They moved like the whole thing.
Building. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They moved it 3 times. Yeah. So for whatever reason, that building must have, I don't know, meant something special to somebody for them to move it. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that they had that kind of technology back then, and we just destroy it and blow it up and build it somewhere else?
I'm not so sure it's the technology. I think it's more of the sentiment, right?
Yeah,
that people
that's true.
And it's also probably at that time was probably easier to just move it rather than rebuild it.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have plumbing, you didn't have electrical work and stuff like that to worry about. So, you know, we'll just move it.
Just pick it on up.
Yeah.
Get some horses and carts, move it.
Yeah, but Red Bank is a different vibe. Red Bank is a bit more vibrant. It's a bit more loud. So it doesn't have the there's like an ethereal quality that Keyport has that Red Bank doesn't quite have.
Absolutely. I'm getting like chills as you're saying it. Yeah, there's something very, there's something that it like you feel like you're crossing a timeline when you go into Keyport. You really do. It's really cool.
And a lot of people have had experiences, especially in our shop. A lot of people have had experiences in the parlor. And random things, like people will ask me, oh, do you have a cat? And I was like, funny you should ask. We don't have a living cat. However, we do have a ghost cat.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I was sitting in there doing readings one of the first times I was there, and I literally saw something out of the corner of my eye, like move in a mirror. And you're like, oh yeah,
I do that.
So, and it's cool because, you know, for me to catch something is quite a big experience for me, because I don't have Hollywood style clairvoyance. Like that's literally what I'm calling it now.
I know what you mean.
So, you know, for me to actually, you know, see something is like, whoa, wait a minute, something's really going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy here, and there's a lot of people always ask me, like, are you scared? Like, do you stay there at night? I'm like, it doesn't.
No.
For a variety of reasons, it doesn't scare me. I mean, I don't find that frightening anyway. But also I feel like I'm like their caregiver. Like I feel like,
and that's the thing too. I feel like it's like when I'm there, I feel like it's a, like, dare I say, fun and friendly vibe. Like, you know, you can feel that there's a presence and there's stuff going on, but there's also a feeling about it that they seem to be welcoming. You know, it's not like they want you to recognize that they're there. Like, they want the recognition, but they're not there to, like, attach to you or scare the crap out of you or like go home with you. Like, they, you know, it's like,
no, they're mine.
It's like you're coming, but it's like you're visiting their house. You know, that's kind of how I interpret the energy. But it's very interesting because I am, like, just being on the live with you, I am feeling the energy coming through. Like, I had to like grab my shungite and ground myself.
It doesn't, like, I never feel like it follows any of us home or harasses us or anything. I mean, there's times where, like, just a couple weeks ago, I was in the back room. We have a whole back room that's kind of like where we do some creating of our stuff and storage and things like that. And I was in the back room, and I always say, like, this stuff doesn't scare me, right? So I heard the front door open, I heard the bell ring, and I heard someone walk in, and I said hello, and I thought it was John. and I was like, oh, he's going to try to scare me. And I was like, he's not going to scare me. You know, I was like all comfortable and calm. I'm like, I know he's here. He's not going to scare me. I go to the front and there's nobody here. He walked in about 10 minutes later.
So do you think you felt his presence before he came in?
We have someone here that mimics.
Okay.
There was one day I heard Rick say something, and I looked at him and I said, did you just say that? And he went, no, I didn't say anything. Or sometimes I'll hear one of either, I have not heard it mimic Danny yet, but I have heard it mimic John and Rick. And I think because Danny doesn't talk when he's here.
He's very quiet.
He's very quiet. But yeah, I've definitely heard it mimic both of them. And it's that it doesn't scare me, but it's a little, it can be a little like disorienting.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. No, it does make sense.
Yeah, like you think like, okay, this person is right here. Let me just respond to them. And you turn around and I'm like, oh, that person's not here.
Yeah. Well,
so
and especially if you're right, and especially if you're, you know, like a shopkeeper and you're in a store, you're kind of like feeling that like, oh yeah, somebody's in here. Like there's a presence. Somebody walked in, and then you're like, wait a minute, nobody's here. You know.
Yeah.
So
it's a little disorienting sometimes, but you know, I love it.
Definitely. So, oh my gosh. Do we want to talk about classes at the store, or do you want, let's talk about the classes that you offer, and then we'll go into your sigil maker. I am like so excited about the sigil maker. I have one.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was just telling somebody about it the other day. So yeah.
Nice. So we have a bunch of different classes. We do have guest instructors that come in from time to time. As I mentioned, Mallory will be here on November 16th. Our friend April has taught classes here. One of the main classes that we offer, though, is our New Moon Academy. So the New Moon Academy is 13 classes because it has to be 13. But it is really like the foundation of your spiritual practice. And the way that this came about was, you know, I was doing like, you know, little Witchcraft 101 classes, find your patron deity, like that sort of thing. And John was like, yeah, maybe we should do this all in a course. And he was so helpful and instrumental in developing this for me because I've been in it for so long. It's hard to sometimes step back and recognize what someone who is brand new needs to know. And I can't stress enough like how great our overall partnership really is. But I got goosebumps. But that was just such a pivotal thing for us because we do get a lot of people that come in here that are looking for some way to connect spiritually. They're looking for a path and they don't know where to start, or they say, I've always been interested in Wicca or paganism or this or that, and I'm overwhelmed. Because now we've got, you know, back 20, 30 years ago, you know, we had Barnes and Noble and we had metaphysical stores and stuff like that. Now I think people have too much information to look at.
Yes.
They can't figure out what's good and what's not.
Yes. Analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
I mean, and I went through that as well because it's like, you know, when you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try to learn about this. And there's like 12 different books and each book has their own ideology because it's the way that it's that author's connection with spirit. So, and it's like, you have to like read it all and then deduce what's best for you and then create your own path. And sometimes people they don't have the time or like the patience to do it or even want to do it.
I mean, it takes a lot of tenacity to do that. So the way that we structured this really was, you know, I'm going to give you an idea of what you can do and what this is about, but we're going to prompt you to figure out what works best for you. Because if you're designing this in a way that works best for you, you're more likely to keep up with the practice. If you're just mimicking what I do, that might work for a little while. That could be like your training wheels and that can give you direction. But if it's got to mean something, your spirituality has got to mean something to you personally.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not fulfilling.
Right. No, it's so true. I mean, and, you know, like even myself, I could only do so much of what my lineage has done until I had to find something that was meaningful to me.
Yeah.
You know, and that practice, and I think that's, you know, there's different aspects of, you know, coven practice as opposed to solo practitioners. And I think as a solo practitioner, that's where that freedom comes in.
It does. And the thing that I truly enjoy about it is that it's so creative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it becomes truly a reflection of who you are as a person and also as a spiritual being.
Yeah. And it morphs as you grow spiritually.
Should, yeah.
Yes.
It should. But it's also it's kind of like a I can't think of the right word, but everything is a creative endeavor. Like if I'm doing circle with a group of people, and then that group of people changes, it changes the energy, it changes the intention, it changes the entire experience.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different fun things you can do. And it should be fun. I feel like, you know, connecting yourself to your spiritual side should be engaging, should be challenging, but it should give you a sense of happiness.
Well, yeah, I mean, and there is definitely, like, I'm even hearing there's like a sense of innocence to it when that's, you know, our connection at our core to the earth and to nature and the elements. Yep. And, you know, that's really getting back, it's peeling those layers back and getting back to that. I don't want to like, and I don't know if innocence is even the right word, but it's the more of that carefree that you are, you know,
it's your
letting
core,
things go.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's shedding the layers that things that either we had to put on because we were protecting ourselves, or we have to put on because society tells us to put it on. And that's one of the other great things about this space in general. It is, people come in here and they're like, I feel like this is home. And we do a lot to continue to cultivate that energy here. You know, we, aside from like the regular things like clearing out with sage and, you know, doing all of that fun stuff, but even just the way that we approach people and talk with people, we try to keep it that way so that people are comfortable, because people that do come here are, you know, they're looking for things that are not your average, one of the average. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, and that's the thing too, because even for me to come there as a reader, it's very out of the ordinary for me, and I'm like, okay, like, you know?
It's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we do,
so, and it's fun because when I actually come visit and do readings there, I am tapping into and it's not a bad, but it's like I literally am tapping into that deeper, darker side of myself that I'm like, I get a little more gothy when I come, and you know,
we welcome that.
Right. And I love it. I absolutely love it. It's, and in essence, I feel like that is part of me embracing my dark side.
Yeah.
You know, so because you have to have light and dark, you have to have that balance, you know?
Absolutely. And I think, so the classes really kind of focus on that. We have topics from the beginning is like, you know, basic, like what is witchcraft? Why were people executed for believing something or not even believing, or, you know, we won't get into that tonight, but, but we have that. We have a class where you make your own book of shadows, your own journey for the entire experience. We've got finding the pantheons or the deities that work well for you. When it's appropriate to use certain ones, what speaks to you. We get into some, because people don't even really know how to connect with that in the beginning. We do basic intro to crystals, intro to herbs, intro to what spell casting actually is. And for all intents and purposes, it's basically a prayer, you know, and some people don't recognize that that's what it actually is.
Yeah, like prayer, spells, and manifestation is literally same three things, different words.
Yep.
So
we get that. We get into some kitchen magic. which reminds me, I got to talk about that too. We get kitchen magic, we get into just a tiny little bit. And then at the end of the 13, our last class, we talk about, I have a little quiz, and you rate your interests in different things, and it helps you to identify what your strongest interests are and like what sort of, it's kind of more fun than serious, but it helps you identify what kind of witch you are. So you leave with some understanding of the basics, and you also have a path forward. So that's nice. Our big, that's our big one. We also have a 4-week kitchen witch class. And I've just done that, a short version of that with the distillery across the street from us. So we did a kitchen magic where we created a cocktail instead of food. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So we have that. We have tarot, I had it at a 4-week learn basics of tarot, but I think it's got to be a 5-week. We do that. What else do we have? We have ancestor work, ancestor classes. We have some shadow work instructors that come in. So we have a large variety. And if there is stuff that people are interested in, if they send us a message, there's a good chance we can create a class if they're interested.
Very cool.
It's fun.
It is. Now show us your little toy and
okay.
And what inspired you to create it?
This was actually born from a sigil class that my friend Sarah taught. It is our sigil wheel. So you can see there's letters all around the edges. And the way that Sarah taught us a bunch of different ways to create sigils. And for you guys who don't know what sigils are, they are symbols that can represent some energy that you would like to either bring into your life or take out of your life. They're very powerful for spell work, for manifestation, for anything that you want to give them power to do. So I was sitting there and I was like, one of the things I really love to do is figure out how to make some of these more complex magical practices easier so people can do them more regularly. So while we're doing the class, I was like, it'd be great if there's just like a wheel with all the letters and we can create a sigil.
Right.
So I sketched it out really quick. I went home and looked and I could not find it anywhere. Nobody had done this before. So I'm like, all right, I'm making it. My friend Bill has one of those cool routers and laser things, and he loves to do stuff like that. So he made a bunch of them for me. So the way it works is you place it up against a piece of paper. And give me a word, Nicole, please.
I'm hearing intention.
Okay. So you start off with a dot. There's a dot by the I. And then you spell out the word by drawing connecting lines. So I'm going from the I to the N, then to the T, E, N, T, I, O, N. And then at the end, make a little line. And then that's your sigil for intention.
And I was trying to look at, there it is. Let me show you. So I actually asked you to draw me up a quick sigil back before I had my sigil maker for my business. And so I'll kind of show it because I don't think you saw it. So I had a wand made and they actually burned the sigil into the wand.
That's cool.
So yeah, so cool. This is a wand that I use while I'm reading.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We've got the snake, we've got the keys, all the good stuff. But yeah, this was a labor of love by a vendor that I had met, and he's amazing. And we worked together and really created it. And he actually documented it on his Instagram too. Cool. The process. So that was really neat. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are available only here. If you see them somewhere else, somebody ripped me off. The back of them too, this is the other thing, because I don't like dead space. I think that everything should have a purpose. The back of it is yes, no, maybe, ask later. So it also serves as a pendulum board. So I do sell a box set that you can get the sigil wheel. You'll have the pendulum board on the back, and it comes with a pendulum too.
Yeah.
So it's like everything in one spot.
I love that. I absolutely love mine.
Then there's
yeah.
Another cool thing too. So let me tie this on. So as I meant, like, I really like to make, I hate to say practical magic, but I really want to make it practical for people. So I try to do all these like little shortcuts and stuff that you can do.
Well, you know, I mean, if you think about it, it was, you know, with our ancestors, it was ritual was a part of their daily lives.
Yeah.
So, you know,
now we have to go to work.
Yeah, I mean, but like I actually find that value of, you know, like when we talk about kitchen witchcraft, like you can make every meal special. You can, you know, eat, you know, bless it and with intention or energy or whatever, every meal that you're making, or, you know, consciously cook, you know, to put that energy in that you're going to ingest. So, you know, there is a way that you can bring your craft or your spirituality, whichever way you want to refer to it, you know, into your daily life. It doesn't have to be so ritualistic or like high magic.
Yeah. So what I did with this is a chalkboard shadow box that I've attached it to. So you can just use a piece of chalk and create your sigil and just make it like a nice temporary sigil for the day. And then you can place a candle right on top, burn that candle right there, and that's right there, intention work.
And I really like the sigils too, because you could like put them on a piece of paper, and then, like, you know, just like what, you know, when the wand maker did, like, you know, they shrunk it down, and you could put it on a piece of paper and put it in your wallet. Like if you want to manifest money, you could, you know, make a sigil from money, put it on a little piece of paper, put it in your wallet.
You can, if we're talking about kitchen magic too, you can kind of place the ring over your baked ziti and draw it on, you know, put your basil on that way, and your baked ziti is now a money spell,
right?
You know,
or you can like put it over bread when you're going to bake the dough and like cut into it, and then
there's so many
different
ways to do it. So many different ways. I mean, you have a new home, you can put the sigils all around your home before you paint, you know, or even if you're just redoing your place, you know, so many different things you can do with sigils. I love that.
Yeah, and yours, the way that you do it is you actually spell the whole word out, but there's other processes a lot of where I actually learned a process over the weekend where you can take like a whole phrase.
Oh yeah.
And you could sigil a phrase, not make it a shape, but like create a language with it.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Yep.
Which is really neat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, that was something new I learned.
Yeah, or even just taking the letters and superimposing them on top of one another to create a sigil. There's so many different ways to do it. This is just a very simple, easy way to do it, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the sigil maker. The sigil maker 3000.
Now, do you have an online store, or like, is there a way that people can get stuff if they're not in the area?
Yeah, we haven't finalized any of that stuff yet, but if you reach out to us, if you DM us on the Parlour Keyport Instagram, and you should also like and follow us there because we need more followers always. If you send us a message, we can arrange for that. They're an awesome Christmas present. Let me tell you, they're a really fun Christmas present.
I gave one last year for a Yule gift.
Did.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then I had you specifically, I put in the request to specifically make mine hot pink because it's
the only hot pink one I've made.
So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, it's great. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Or
we have a really amazing seance event that we do here. So it's not your average seance. It's not holding hands and connecting. Our friend Sarah Blake goes through the history of like the last 160 years of seance. Well, back to like the Fox sisters in 1840, and what they did to connect with spirits. And we try the different modalities throughout the timescape. So we try the candles, we try automatic writers, we try the Ouija board, and we build up to modern day investigation. So it's still part seance, but it's also part investigation and connection with the spirits. So we've got, we end up with the things like the spirit box and the Estes method. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I could lose days doing that. Days, it's a problem. The Estes method is basically you use noise canceling headphones, you can spirit box, and wear a blindfold, and then other people that are in the space will ask the spirits questions, and if you're wearing the blindfold and the and attached to the box, you read out the answers that you're hearing.
Oh wow,
it's something.
Wow.
It's something. It's an amazing, like the blindfold takes you completely out of space and time. It opens your senses up a lot.
And that's the thing, because if you suppress one sense, your other sense becomes more heightened.
Yeah.
So, you know, the interesting part with me is like, yeah, my vision is not, I don't want to say it's not the best, but my vision is hampered, but yet my sense of smell and taste and hearing is a lot more acute. My hearing is insanely acute. And then, well, go to figure, I'm clairaudient. So yeah.
So there's a lot of that. What else do we have? Oh, we also do pet memorial jewelry here. That's another thing I wanted to.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We do, so for my not parlor work, I am certified as a pet loss support person. So I help people with that, but I also do sort of like different types of memorial jewelry, like blending the ashes with resin and placing them into like rings and necklaces and stuff like that. So that is a really, for me, a very rewarding service that we offer, because honoring that connection with our pets, I think, is just, you know, we have to.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, yeah, I love doing them as a pet communicator. I love doing things. So yeah, it is, it's like a voice, being the voice for the voiceless. So
yeah,
you know, and that is, it's a way of honoring, you know, their spirit with the work that you're doing too.
And it's also, I think, so many people get lost when they lose a pet, because it's this grief that is not fully recognized. You know, people think, oh, just get another dog or something like that, and that's not.
No, because they contract to come here to be with us, to be our guide, and and to help us heal through things, and we're here to help them. So,
and they're the cutest.
And
they're the best.
And you know, and they spend lifetimes with us as well, you know, so there's that factor too.
Yeah. So I think that's, for me, that's something that's very, very rewarding too, to be able to help people through that, because it can be a very difficult thing for people to go through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff here. As I'm talking, I'm like, wow, we do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You have to show me the jewelry. Oh. You got the piece that John handed you.
Yeah. So this one I have had my eye on for a very long time. I will say, one of the difficult things with having a store like this is that you want to not part with some of the things that you bring in. So look at that amethyst.
Yeah. Wow.
Opal.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this one is spectacular, and the energy on the stone itself is delicious. This is another, I have one that's very similar to this and I end up wearing it very often.
Oh, wow. Is that obsidian?
It is obsidian. I believe it's rainbow sheen obsidian.
Yes, there is. I can see it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a delay because the screen is breaking up a little bit, but yeah, I could see the AB on it, the Aurora Borealis.
It's stunning. I have one that's like this, but a little bit smaller that Mallory did for me, and it's such a comfort. Like the thing that with these big pieces, like you think, oh, that's too big. I don't know that I'd be able to wear it. When it sits right here, there's a comfort to that weight.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing too. I love working with like larger towers and heavier pieces. Like here, look at this selenite I have.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it's there's definitely something about the bigger pieces. You know, everybody's like, oh, the energy is the same. Yeah, the energy is the same, but there's just there's more of an impact.
Yeah. I mean, these pieces are, I feel like I'm on the Home Shopping Network, but like, look at that. It's
that you got a great view. You're clear. That's beautiful. That is gorgeous. You know, and you've got the amethyst and the opal. That's all like that whole psychic and the calming.
I mean,
yeah, wow. And that too, because it's like, you know, obviously, because you're like, I look at it from like the cut perspective too, that's laying flat against you and it's drawing everything out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of Mallory stuff. I have a big scrying mirror necklace. It's like obsidian, like that big. I wear that and I'm like, I like walk in like, hi, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Yeah, she does absolutely exquisite work. And we have a lot of her pieces. We'll probably have some more. The pop-up is going to be November 16th. So if anyone wants to see some of Mallory's stuff, please come see us that day. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, she did a TikTok live and I jumped on and there was something. I don't know if it was it may have been fire quartz. And she was literally like building the design in the
it's amazing
in the TikTok live, and I'm like, I want it. And then like, and then I went to go look and it wasn't there. And she had a piece. There was another piece that she had finished, and I went looking for that. And I literally think by the time I like pulled myself away from what she was doing and went on her website, it was gone. Like it was already sold.
Sell very fast, which is another reason to come. I'm not going to keep saying it. I'll say it one more time, but it's another good reason to come to her pop-up here because you can actually see the stuff and hold it and right here because her stuff does sell fast.
Yeah. And I am going to be there on the 23rd doing readings. We still have to get we still have to button up the time. Yeah. But I'm probably thinking maybe like 12 to 3 or 12 to 4, like depending on, I think that might be. Because you said there's something going on across the street. Is it going on during the day or is it going on more at night?
I'm not sure. Haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check that as soon as we're done.
No problem. I'm just I'll be there though.
Yeah, that's gonna be. There's supposed to be an oddities market right out here, so we'll see. We'll see how what that's gonna be.
All right, cool. So just to wrap up, we have a few minutes left. We want to run down the litany of stuff you offer again and how we can get a hold of you and where the store is located.
So we have oddities, curiosities, all sorts of artwork, very original artwork. Most of the pieces that we have are either one of a kind or very close to being one of a kind, except for things like prints and stuff like that. So we've got that. We have a lot of basic witchcraft stuff. We've got herbs, we have candles, we have spells. We can customize all of that if you need something specific. I have these cool little burnable fire pit bags with your intention.
Oh my God.
Spell on them.
God, yeah, we didn't even get into pyromancy.
I'm going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. So, so we have all of that. We have guest readers, including Nicole. I offer readings, but I also offer pyromancy fire readings, which is a little bit different from the regular card readings. I kind of use cards to get some of the nuance message, but the fire itself gives you messages, which is very cool. So we've got that. We have classes. We have our New Moon Academy. We have all these other classes that I had mentioned, the tarot card reading classes. We have necromancy. We've got a whole bunch of classes. And then we've got ghost tours. We have seances. We have paint your partner nights. I forgot to mention that, where you come with your friend or your partner and you do paintings of one another. It's hilarious. It's ridiculously fun. And then we've got, what else do we have? We sometimes partner with 3BR across the street and do fun events like our kitchen magic class. Yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff going on here. You can find us, follow us on the Parlour Keyport. Remember, that's PARLOUR. It's fancy. Find us on Instagram, Facebook. We update Instagram pretty regularly. So all of our stuff immediately goes up there. We're also on Eventbrite for our events. So if you are interested in an event, you can check there too. If you sign up to be like one of the followers, you'll get notifications on that. What else do we do, Nicole? We do a lot of stuff.
You do. You have Rick's decks.
Rick's card decks. Oh, and that's what we use for the card reading class, for the tarot class. We use Rick's deck. And we also do a package deal where you get like the 4 classes plus the deck at a discounted rate. So that's pretty cool. Rick has, I think, 4 different card decks.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's a genius. He's a genius. So we've got that. We have a lot of artwork, as I mentioned. Oh, we also host Circle here for the new moon. We do that too. That's an open public thing. And we do some for different holidays and stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, if you have a little bit of a calling toward the witchy side, come see us. It's a very non-threatening introduction.
Yes, you like literally like Genevieve. Like the moment I met her, I literally felt like you were like a long lost sister. It was like really like the connection was there, and it was really great.
It was quick, right?
Yes.
You.
Yeah, absolutely.
You.
Yeah. So, I really, and you're a Scorpio. I love my Scorpios. Yeah. So, so yeah. So happy early birthday.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's, yeah, definitely. It's a one of a kind adventure.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just a whole lot of fun.
It's always something new here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always. So yeah, come see us.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
being a guest.
A lot of fun. Thank you.